especially in particular difficult in the state of Illinois. And there are times when actions have real consequences. And I think that's the theme of what I'd like to talk about just for a minute before we have some other speakers. I'm Steve Rauschenberger. I'm a candidate for the 22nd Senate District. I'm a former state senator who served in the General Assembly just under 15 years and have come back out of retirement because I'm frustrated and concerned about what's going on in Springfield, particularly in the finances down.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We appreciate it.
Can we hear from Senator Noland? Please. Senator Noland.
Now, I have worked with Chairman McConaughey trying to facilitate the expedited payment. My understanding, and she has documentation of this, that of the $1.5 million that's been reported shortfall here in Kane County, that upwards of $900,000 has been paid. This is all a pretext for this scorched earth policy that the party of no, these two gentlemen here who served for 14 years together, and we have $1 billion of debt for every year they served. They created this pension system where we talk about where they're supposed to be. Okay, I supported House Bill 174 that provided for a balanced budget that would have answered the need that's being stated here today, that would have kept these jobs. That there is a gap between spending and revenue. And the way we filled that gap over all these many years, as had been identified by this quote, let us all be happy and live within our means, even if we have to borrow the money to do it with, has been the only solution by my opponent or by Senator Lawson here. Well, there is a beginning and an end to everything. And I'm quoting Judge Braca from the Kane County judicial system here. Same quote, basically stated a different way. We have run out of places to run to here in the state of Illinois, and that's what this election is all about. I strongly urge my colleagues on the Kane County, fellow public servants who are laboring hard, and I agree with that. But rather than pointing fingers and telling the state or our state legislators what they ought to be doing, or us pointing to them and telling them what they ought to be doing, we ought to join together and accept the facts and the truths that we learned here today. And the revenue you can't get coming in. It's their lack of willingness to level with you as a means and a way to resolve that gap, to bridge that gap. Sometimes you just have to look people in the eye and tell the truth. You cannot have one life in your head and another one on the street. And that's what our politicians down in Springfield have been guilty of. But not this one. Not this one. I took the tough vote last year, House Bill 174, that would provide revenue and make cuts at the same time. But I absolutely, unequivocally refused to borrow any more money until we come up with a realistic plan for repaying our debts and acting responsibly.